Like I was going into the earthquake in Nepal. Nepal got hit with the 7.3 earthquake. You know, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea got hit with a 7.2. You know, so these earthquakes in diverse places, that's prophecy being fulfilled. You know, and I'm gonna bring up this article. You say something?
Yeah. So I mean, like we said, we're dealing with prophecy. We got our eyes open. That's one thing that we at GMS do. Okay. We have our eyes open, man, to current events and what's going on, and we linking them up with the prophecies because that's what Yahweh Shai said to do, man. He said, watch, watch as well as pray, and that's our forte, man. That's what we out there with the watchmen, and we're seeing all these things come to pass daily, Now those who are out of the loop, that Yahweh Shai ain't dealing with, these people, they think they don't know what world they're living in, man. All these people that are getting caught up with all these police brutality and police slayings and shit, they don't know that they're living in a police state. They don't know that the Constitution was suspended, martial law, that they don't have no more rights. They don't know what world they're living in. They're asleep. And frankly, we don't give a fuck about them. Fuck them, we're moving on. We're dealing with the elect.
That's right.
Those brothers who have woken up to this and those who will wake up to this. That's all we care about, man. Everybody else, we already know their judgment.
Slated for destruction.
They're slated for destruction, like the elder Abad said. All right, let's go ahead. So we got a couple of articles here.
So what you want to do?
Current events. The first one is dealing with the earthquakes.
Earthquakes. So I'm right here on the earthquake. The website is called earthquake.usgs.gov, and basically you go to this website. It gives you every major earthquake around the world. So this is from 5/12/2015, right? You had a 6.8 off the coast of Japan. Then you had a 6.3 over there in Nepal, over there in India. These are major earthquakes in diverse places. 7.3 in Nepal, that was on the 12th.
That's a hard hit.
7.1, like I said, in New Guinea. You had a 3.7 in San Jacinto, California. You had a 7.5 in New Guinea again. And then one thing I want to bring up about, they try to downplay certain earthquakes by calling them aftershocks.
Right.
Which aftershocks are nothing but earthquakes.
Smaller earthquakes, right.
They're just, not even smaller, but they're just in succession. In succession. Like,
but they're still hard hitting.
They're still hard hitting. Some of the aftershocks are stronger than the original.
Oh, okay, look at that. I didn't know that, man.
But they call them aftershocks to try to dismiss it and not get the people to fear it.
Right.
So
play on words.
Yeah. But they're just earthquakes also. So you had the one in California, a 3.6 in Concord, California. That was in the beginning of May. So you have one in Michigan, California. So different parts of the world.
Yeah, and all of these, within what, a month, you said?
Yeah, that's all this month.
So
all the ones I read was in the month of May.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Okay.
That was it.
All right. So yeah, going now.
So go to the home.
Yeah, go into the train derailments.
Yeah.
That's the next one, because these train derailments are by design. You see, when it comes to these these metropolitan, or let me say these top commercial train lines and stuff like Amtrak, when things happen, it's by design. You know what I'm saying?
These plane crashes.
Any
major form of transportation.
Right. Bus. But whether it's a Greyhound bus or anything top commercial type thing, cargo plane or train derailments like Amtrak and different top companies that deal with this, especially if it's dealing with like a oil freight train, a freight train carrying oil or some kind of natural gas or something like that. Sound like that. You got these 18-wheelers carrying these resources, man. That's all by design, man. Because the elites, what they plan to do is bankrupt their own companies that they own, bankrupt them so that they can get control over them, and the people, the private corporations or whatever that had some kind of stock in these companies don't have anymore. It'll get translated to the government some way, somehow, the federal government, and that's the plan. You see what I'm saying? Now you can watch a couple. You can watch. There's movies and books. There's a book called Atlas Shrugged, and I believe they go into this stuff.
Yep.
Now, like I said, I haven't really got into that movie too deep or the book or whatever, but I saw a little bit of the movie and part one, and y'all brothers could watch that for yourselves, But there's plenty of media out there discussing this topic.
I'll bring out one quick point.
Come.
Basically, like what you see with these the trail derailments, these plane crashes, planes turning up missing, the Malaysia Airlines.
Oh, come.
Basically, all of these things are, like the Elder Sakaran was going into, are set up. And the reason why these things are staged and set up, ultimately, is to get the government to take over these forms of transportation. Okay, take over the airways, the airports, the airlines, the trains. Yeah, because that goes in accordance with the executive orders. Now I have this book, real quick. It's called The World's Last Dictator, right?
Yep.
It's by Dwight L. Kinman, right? So you can get this book off of Amazon or whatever, and do your own research and read it for yourself. But on page 71, it starts going into the executive orders, right? I'm gonna just read real quick through it. It says, in some future economic, political, or military crisis, total dictatorial powers have already been granted to the President of the United States under Executive Order 11490. It says, total dictatorial control over America can be exerted instantaneously with one stroke of the pen. The measures stands as executive orders waiting to be evoked by whatever president decides is a major crisis.
Which is, which is the president is taking orders from the elite
banking family,
right? The hidden government.
Says these decisions give the president through a bureaucracy of unelected officials in the Office of Federal Emergency Management Agent, Management Act, or FEMA as they're known. It's called Federal Emergency Management Act. Like FEMA was well known during New Orleans, when they got the floods, New Orleans got messed up. It says, let me just skip through right to the point. It said the following are executive orders combined under Executive Order 11490. In one single hour, the president could take over all communications, radio, that means radio, television, etc.
Yeah, etc. Meaning the internet, because back then when this book was put together, the internet was not in full effect. Let me say,
That's right.
Internet was created, but it wasn't for the populace. It was military, government.
It says all electric power, petroleum, gas, fuel, etc. I mean, anytime you need to get gas, you need to get electricity, anything, you got to go. The government going to be controlled. All farms and food reserves, which they already have that in effect now. That's why you have all these GMOs,
Yep.
which is genetically modified organisms. Where it's not even real food. Is food that is made in the lab. So that's in full effect already. All transportation, highways.
All transportations. Listen to this.
All transportation, highways, railroads.
Railroad. That's the latest news today.
Yep.
Amtrak derailment in Philadelphia.
That's right.